Hello again on this breezy day here in Sheffield. Now, 2 weeks ago we had a barnstorming start to events in this Betfred.com World Championship when the man who lifted that trophy 12 months ago, Neil Robertson, was sent packing by a flamboyant and apparently nerveless 21-year-old Judd Trump. And 2 weeks later, the Juddernaut, as he's now been christened, is still rolling in this, the semi-final stage, in his bold bid to become only the third qualifier in history to lift the trophy here at the Crucible Theatre. Well, let's just remind you of the four men who still have gas in their tank in this snooker marathon.
Well, we've got two great semi-finals and the Trump-Ding match, 12-all, building up into a classic.
Yeah, I was very impressed by Trump last night. I thought yesterday morning he probably played the worst he's played since he's been here at the Crucible. It showed great character to come back to the match, I think 2 centuries.
Absolutely, great finish for him as a 12-all. It's a journey into the unknown though, isn't it, the last session for both players actually?
Yeah, Ding's probably the most experienced in terms of tournament wins and being at the business end of tournaments, but you're talking about a best-of-9 match now to get to the final of the World Championship, so nerves will be jangling.
As for the other one, 9-7 to Mark Williams over John Higgins, and that session yesterday was a classic, had everything in it.
Yeah, I think Mark will be very disappointed. I mean, he played fantastic yesterday afternoon. I commentated on it, and to be only 4-4, you know, personally, if I was in that match, I'd be very disappointed. John Higgins done fantastically well.
It just shows you why he's been a champion, though, doesn't it? I mean, he hung in there, hung in his stick ability all afternoon, outplayed, but came out of the session level 4 each.
Yeah, I said at the time, Mark outplayed him, long potting, safety, break building, everything. But to be 4-4, it was, you know, fantastic achievement by John.
Do you see that one going all the way?
I can see both semi-finals going 17-16, 17-15.
My goodness, there'll be no nails left.
Well, this afternoon we're going to enjoy live the potentially cliff-hanging concluding session between Ding Junhui, bidding to become the first Asian player to make it to the Crucible final, and a new fan favourite, Judd Trump. That's coming up for you at 2:30. But in the meantime, there is much to reflect upon from the other semi-final played between the world number 1 and 2 in snooker right now, John Higgins and Mark Williams. Now, yesterday our own Steve Davis christened Higgins snooker's Terminator. And this is why. The man refuses to lie down.
It looks to be cueing beautifully, Stephen, when you knock that type of raid in like that. Mark Williams special there. He just missed out on the high break there. And once again played with the stun run through, and he played it beautifully. What a frame to pinch this would be.
5.
Mark Williams sends a plant into the corner and finishes perfectly on the brown. Mark Williams makes a century break and he's back 3 frames in front again. It's 8-5. Have a look at that shot. That's a beautiful shot from John Higgins. It really is. What a clearance from John Higgins. Absolutely stunning. It's 9-6 to the Welshman. Oh, it's a beauty. It's a beauty from John Higgins. been a fascinating session of snooker. Somehow, John Higgins has got himself right back into this match. It's 9-7. It's all to play for.
So having been 4 frames behind and struggling yesterday, Higgins has somehow dragged himself to within grappling distance of the Welshman at 2 frames behind. Now they were back in the arena at 10 this morning for the first of 2 more sessions today in this semi-final. This is their first frame of the morning. The Scot trailing by 16 points and Ken Doherty and Willie Thorne in the box.
Misjudged it. It was always going to be a very tough white, but what about that for a draw? Maybe luck does level itself out now and again.
He's the same at bingo, you know. This could drift. That's drifted almost the ball. Didn't want to hit that red. I wanted to hit the middle red.
I just wonder, even though that's the same drift as John Higgins had when he was just running up to those 2 reds, Ken, maybe the whole table was just slightly going that way. It's a sprung floor here at the Crucible.
1.
Yeah, we'll purposely bring the brown into a more open play. And if you can, try and get the cue ball somewhere
Brown ball
behind the yellow. Well,
John Higgins 1.
sacrifice trying to get the snooker to make sure that cue ball is tight against the ball cushion. And this is not easy.
Yes, at this, as you rightly said, Ken, he's got the brown in play, hasn't it? So this is tense times now for Mark Williams. He looks certain to win this frame. Once again, you see that he's played that probably quarter ball, and maybe the table is slightly astray today. He can move overnight. Decided to play an alternative shot this time. Let's see if this goes to the right as well. The only problem with that shot is that he could bring the black into play and get the white in behind yellow and green. Decided to just make sure he gets the black into play. So this is now whoever pots the next red goes favourite to win the frame. Tense moments here at the Crucible. First frame very important for John Higgins to get back into the game, for Mark Williams to go further clear.
Foul and a miss.
Well, that was always the problem.
John
He
Higgins.
didn't hit the red. Could bounce off the cushion and leave this other red. Oh yes, good shot. And one beautifully held for the black. The reason he held it for the black is it's much easier for his next shot. He can just drop the red in the bottom cushion, whereas he'd have to be, if this black wasn't on the spot, he'd have to be forcing, and it makes the red much more difficult. But that's not the best shot he's ever played with the rest. This makes this red a little bit more difficult than he would have liked.
8.
Surprised he didn't just drop on the cushion, really. He only needed an inch off the cushion. He'd have gone on the black. Okay, he still might pot this, but it could easily stay in the jaws. It could easily stay in the jaws. Oh, 9. Any harder, that wouldn't have gone in. Just look at this red wipe its feet. The late great John Spencer always used to say, because we talk about running the ball there, how we thought John Higgins was very unfortunate. It just shows all that bad run of the ball actually could have won in the frame now. He said, look, wait until the end of the frame before you complain about run of the ball.
13.
6 points ahead, so yellow, green, brown and blue required.
$15.
As you said,
18.
he's blessed with a wonderful temperament, John Higgins. Didn't panic. 44 down with reds all in difficult positions. He's come back well in this frame.
22.
And now blue to close the gap.
27. John Higgins, 27. On the frame.
Well, Mark Williams says he's had enough, and John Higgins takes the frame and cuts Mark Williams' deficit to 1 frame. It's 9-8 to Williams.
Yes, that break of 45 has stolen another one for the 3-time world champion. That's 3 frames in a row now for the Scot, and the complexion of this semi-final is all changing as we head into frame 18.
Just tried to get in around, find that little gap between black and red, so just a safety shot now, but he's got to be careful. This red over the left hand corner pocket is posing a little bit of a problem for him. He could leave the cue ball down behind the green, and he's also got a blue as a possible block. He's having a look to see can he leave it in the jaws of the yellow pocket, but it looks a bit more risky.
Yes, if he decides to leave it in the jaws of the yellow pocket, it would be a tough pot for Mark. I don't know whether he's taking this on. You can never tell with John Higgins. That might be very close to the enough, and that's a very, very poor shot now.
Wow. John Higgins, 1. Mark Williams,
I was
5.
going to say, even if he left the white in the jaws, it would have been a very, very tough pot for Mark Williams because he couldn't get around the black and the 3 reds. So that's made it a lot easier now it's gone in off. You'd think he'd be able to get onto the blue from here, but he looks to have lined it up virtually straightish. Just running around the 2 cushions. I was surprised he actually...
1.
It's okay on the black, he's on the black nicely, but surprised he put it that straight. That good kiss on the blue though has given him a chance to move the 2 reds from above the black.
$8. 9.
Well, he can swing this white round 3 cushions to play for the red in the middle 2 cushions, I should say. Doesn't have to worry about the black. Shouldn't be a problem. Well, the red at the back of the pack will pot.
16. 17. 24. 25.
Try and leave an angle on the black, maybe
32.
to take still the loose red above the black to the right.
33.
that does pot into the bottom left-hand corner. When he pots that one, gets that one out of the way, I think the bottom red goes as well. He doesn't have to do too much work yet. I think when he pots this red, the one just
40.
above it to the left goes into this bottom right-hand corner pocket.
41.
There's the average shot time. Mark Williams, only 19 seconds. Very, very quick. John Higgins, a little bit slower, but still only 22 seconds. Now we can pot this with a little bit of pace. He can stay on blue or black.
48.
But if he just stuns it, he can open up the 4 reds below the pink for and stay on the blue.
49.
It's perfect. Okay, he's using the rest, but brought some more reds into play.
He's going to have to go around the back of the red that's near the right hand side cushion and get onto it into the middle pocket, but this could possibly go wrong. There's not a lot of room to go around the back of that red.
Yeah, somewhere like this he could round the back of the black, top cushion, side cushion, leave himself 2 options here, Willie. Just a little bit pacey, but it's okay.
54.
Just have to admire Williams' temperament, don't you? He had been very, very concerned about the previous frame when he clearly had chances to win it and led by 44 points to nil, and the fact that he lost the 2 previous frames as well, and just to come down as if there's no problem and just make a 50-odd break is excellent. Doesn't want to risk playing a cannon this time because he's only a couple of reds away from victory. So 67 in front, just 1 more red needed, and that red
62.
should be okay as long as he's not trying to get onto a colour. He knows this is his game ball and he'd much rather play it with without using the rest. That's it. Well played, Mark Williams.
63.
Very, very good. Obviously strained himself a little there, stressing for that red. What a fabulous break this has been.
Yes, and all came from a very careless mistake
70.
from John Higgins, trying to play a safety shot and knocked the cue ball in and left Mark Williams an easy opener. He's taken these very well.
Mark Williams, 70.
Well, wonderful break of 70 should give Mark Williams this frame.
It was indeed enough to re-establish the 2-frame cushion for Williams. Now, as we pick them up in the next, both players have had chances here. Williams 7 points behind.
One.
Tight on the cushion, that wouldn't have been on.
Six. Seven.
I just tried to bring that red into play.
10.
Nice angle on the blue. Can possibly go in for those 2 reds, and if he hits the first red just directly above the black, it'll certainly knock the second red towards this right hand corner pocket. Something like that there, yeah. That will knock the other red towards the corner pocket, and that's a little bit unlucky. That's very unfortunate.
16. Mark Williams, 16.
There's going to have to be a lot of good safety now in these remaining moments of this third frame of the morning session. Well, there's an attacking safety shot trying to bring 3 or 4 reds into play. And where's the red going? Well, amazingly enough, it's not far away from being safe. Even though this red is possible in the middle, he's going to have to play it slow, which might obviously mean it rolls off a little. It wouldn't surprise me at all if he didn't play it. Okay, he's going to get a good white should it go in, but the red could hit the jaw and go right over the other middle. He knew that was a tough shot.
Yes, and he's left it into the corner pocket, but a little pressure on this. These are not easy. Yes, and now you see he's playing it not with a lot of confidence, that's for sure. Screwing back into ball. He could have tried to hope for the blue, but just a little bit concerned of the red closest to the left corner pocket.
Well, beautifully cued. And it helps that as we see this red going for a second time, helps that the black spot is covered. Just has to concentrate on the black. There's no problem with the red on the black spot. Be interesting to see whether Ken plays off this red to bring the other reds into play, or just plays on the colour to try and leave an angle to bring them into play. Every player has a different way of breakballing when the ball's on the cushion, so this time he's decided to just play for the black. He doesn't want to be straight. If he's straight, it's very careless. He can run around 2 cushions and play the one that's nearest the top left-hand corner.
$16. $17. 24.
Now the work starts. He's got the angle now to bring the red nearest the pink into play. Cushion first is the way you play these. You don't hit the red direct. You try and make sure you hit cushion first to bring it out onto either the yellow pocket or the middle pocket. So cushion first, just trying to push it out. Got second prize there. Didn't play to have it into the right hand middle, but it's worked okay.
32.
Just checking the scoreboard. He knows he's now 23 in front. So a little bit more work to do yet.
$33.
This looks very good. Needs a little bounce. Needs a bounce. Just about, I think he's on this red. No, he's 28 ahead, so just red and black will put him 36 points ahead with only 35 remaining, so doesn't have to do much with this. Just stun it across or drop it in. It's there. Good shot.
38.
Oh, how he's managed to make 45 from where the balls were is remarkable. I mean, there was literally nothing on when he came to the table, and 4 reds on a cushion, and he's made a frame-winning break.
$45.
Won't do anything rash with this. There's only one snooker required for Mark Williams, so white behind the black, possibly red behind
Higgins,
the brown
45.
and blue. And that's a good shot.
And without the snookers required, John Higgins will get a frame back again and trail by 1 at 10-9.
Yes, the gap is indeed back to 1. Now into frame 20, and Higgins has had 3 chances to get the scoring underway here from his point of view and has spurned them all.
This looks pretty good. I think the pink is, yeah, excellent shot. I think the pink has just about covered the reds down this right hand side of the table. You could try and swerve it slightly, but fraught with a lot of danger. He's going to try and lay on this red next to the red's next to the pink, but has he got the pace? Has he got the pace?
Yes.
Oh, a little short, so it's going to go back. It's a good idea to try and hit that middle red of that little cluster there. And certainly be blocking everything into this left hand corner pocket, so we'll play a similar shot.
Yeah. It was in line with the black, wasn't it? I think it was, yeah. Is the distance okay there? John? Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, here's the line. Play the same shot. 2 cushions. Just got to get the pace here. Doesn't want to be too hard. And this looks pretty good. Well played. Exactly where he wanted to hit. And it's no touch and ball, which is a bonus for Mark Williams.
What happened there? Well, that is the wryest smile I've ever seen from John Higgins. He just completely mishit it. And Mark Williams, as you saw there, potted the red in the left-hand side of the pocket, which he had to do, but of course he just lost the white because of that. He's going to have to take this on. Went right in off the left-hand jaw. But he's potted the pink. Well played. That was a tough shot. That was a really, really tough shot. Now, I don't know whether the pink goes on the pink spot or the black spot. Maybe it will go on the blue, which he would like. Doesn't look to be going on there. Maybe it's just a fraction away. So up on the blue.
7.
Just has to get the gap here, but he doesn't mind even kissing into the pink with this shot. That's what he would have been playing. He would have been playing the kiss into the pink, and where the red's gone, I don't think the blue pot's anymore. He's made a mess of that, really.
Yes, it was handy that pink was nice and straight. Looks like he's come a little bit straight on this red as well, but when he pots this red, the pink will go back in its own spot, so make things a little bit easier for him.
15.
Willie. Get into that. Couple of reds you can go at here. Anywhere down on the near the pink spot would be preferable to leave this cue ball. It's pretty good.
18.
Love to get that pink back on its spot.
Once again, betwixt and between, not on yellow or green perfectly, not on the pink. He'd like to play the pink, but it's hampered by the yellow. He's running out of options, isn't he, with the baulk colours? Always having to play at pace to get back up to this end of the table.
Maybe even worth taking the pink on into this black corner pocket, just dropping it in, and you'll certainly have 2 reds just below the pink spot that will go into the same pocket, so there's a lot of value in the pink. It's certainly a lot easier to get at. And the fact that he's left-handed makes it a little bit more straightforward. That's pretty good.
I think on reflection of the opening 4 frames just this morning, maybe the
25.
2-all is a fair score, and Mark Williams has every chance here of getting enough points to win the frame at one visit.
26.
Now the pink's back onto its own spot. He leads by 22 points. The next 4 reds and 4 colours should be okay. This is bubbling up very nicely, isn't it, this semi-final?
32.
And the next semi-final is at 12 each. So it could be 2 classics.
33.
Well, again, he's overstunned that, and that could be end of break.
39.
He's overstunned that by at least 6 or 8 inches. Wanted to be on 2 reds into this left-hand corner pocket.
Mark Williams, 39.
He pushed the boat out of it there, Ken, didn't he? That was a really tough clip.
I think he played that in disgust, didn't he? He couldn't believe that he wasn't on those. That red a little bit straighter.
Well, he lost the first frame from 44 points to 0 in front when he looked to certainty. He's 35 in front here with plenty of safe reds.
Oh, this will be.
Look where this could have finished.
Well, he's played 2 shots in this frame, Willie. Probably 2 of the worst shots he's played all season. Totally uncharacteristic.
I suppose he was a little lucky to catch that red half ball. He was trying to catch it full ball to keep both reds at this end of the table, and the fact that he caught it quarter ball brought it back into play and moved the red and blue into play.
Seven.
So 42 in front. At least 3 more reds needed. I can see maybe 2 that's straightforward. Another great angle on the pink. If the red wasn't on the back cushion, the one that's just behind the black spot, he could run around 2 cushions and get on the bottom red of the 2 that are on the left hand side. But with that red being on the cushion, he may snooker himself. So that's why he's played to leave himself this cut at distance. He'd still fancy him to pot this.
13. $14. 20. 21.
Another poor shot. Did he play for the blue? Did he play for the pink? We'll never know. He's stunning up the line. I can only presume he played for the pink.
Well, he waited anxiously and stopped in his tracks. I think he's still on this red to the right centre. 58 ahead. Just this red and a colour.
$24.
It's been a weird session, this. We've never known really who's going to win any frame. He's overscrewed that once again by a foot.
30.
Yeah, it's been a little bit scrappy. Not what you would expect from these 2 great players, but all in all, it does add to the bit of tension in this fantastic Crucible theatre. There's so much to play for.
$31.
That now takes the frame beyond any reasonable doubt. I'm sure that John Higgins will walk straight out. John Higgins can only think what could have been. He'd virtually been favourite at one time or another to win all 4 frames.
$37. 38.
To the last frame when John Higgins made a winning break of 45. Didn't look an awful lot on there at the second visit for Mark Williams, but
45.
He's slowly but surely taken complete control of the frame and gone on to win it convincingly. So did what he had to do in this mini session. Definitely share it, don't lose it. John Higgins goes into interval trailing by 11 frames to 9.
So it is effectively as you were right now, as we were at the beginning of the session, Stephen, but you were out with Mark Williams for dinner last night, and I just wonder how he would reflect on events yesterday when he had that 4-frame advantage and he looked completely imperious at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I did say to him last night, so you must be slightly disappointed to play so well and finish the session 4-4, but you know Mark, he said, no, if someone offered me obviously 9-7 after 2 sessions to be 9-7 up, you would take it, but it's very important to, you know, if you have an upper hand in a long match at the Crucible, to really, if someone's down, stamp on them, and he didn't do that.
You know him probably better than anyone on the circuit. Can you tell if he gets nervous or if indeed the nerves are beginning to tighten a bit here?
Yeah, you could tell when you're at that he's in the middle of a match. He is slightly different. He wouldn't admit it, but he is slightly different. But that's understandable. Listen, he's at the semi-final of the World Championship. If you didn't feel anything, you would be, well, I mean, he is laid back, but you have to feel something.
Of course, and with this man, John Higgins, on his tail, it's no wonder you feel nervous. Steve Davis called him the Terminator yesterday. I mean, he has the resilience of a cyborg, it would appear. It's extraordinary, isn't it?
Well, every tournament that I see John win, there's 1 or 2 matches where he could either go out or it looks like he's going out and he just refuses to get beat. So if he was a racehorse and you were having a bet, he'd be the best horse you ever had a bet on, because you have got a runner every single time he's in the field, because he just puts his head down and tries the best he can.
Indeed. All right, well, let's get back into it. Having had their tea break, we're into frame 21 now. Again, a few missed chances from both players. It really is beginning to get tense.
Wow. He was quite a country mile away from that one. And normally, there is forte.
One.
A little bit straight on the black. He has the pink available. Just have a look at that pink, leave the bed at the table, bouncing into the middle pocket. It's a good opportunity this now for John. Concentrate on the reds in bulk before he'll eventually get on the blue at some stage and get into the reds around the pink spot.
12.
He had a little bit of a kick there, but it didn't take away from his position.
John Higgins on a couple of occasions has got back to win that one frame. He looks favourite to do so now, but as we mentioned in commentary a few seconds ago, there's 7 reds around the pink and black spot are all in the way of one another, so as Ken rightly said, it's either into them from the blue at some stage or
80.
maybe a half ball brown, but that's a couple of shots away. Just slightly overran that. Obviously he'd like to screw up for the blue now. 3/4 ball would have been a guaranteed shot to get
22.
onto the blue. The fact that he's just off straight, maybe have to try and force the screw shot.
23.
Yes, he doesn't have to go into these that hard. I think if he can pot the blue and stun into those 2 reds there, he'll certainly have a couple of reds into the right middle. Perfect. Well, I say perfect, he just knocked the black just off its spot, but he
28.
still can go up for blue again here.
29.
Helps, of course, there's still a red in baulk because he hasn't played a great shot there, finished the wrong side of the blue. But now this is a frame with an opportunity. Now he's played that one cannon at this end of the table.
34.
At least 3 reds, pot of those 5 in a group. So he's just hanging on to his coattails at the minute, John Higgins. Just ran that a little bit too far, so he's going to play a cut back into the corner. It's there though.
41.
One more good shot needed. If he gets onto a red, should score enough to win the frame. Well, overran that by
45.
a proverbial mile. Played for the red in the middle, or I don't know whether it passes the blue. The cut in the middle is very difficult. He has a glance at the scoreboard, which will tell him he's 53 points in front. So red colour, red needed. Can't quite tell from here whether it pots past the blue, but if not, the one in the middle is very tough.
Well, he's having a look at it into the left middle here, and it's quite dangerous. Yeah, didn't go for it full-blooded, as you can tell from where he left it. Cue ball, but he'd be certainly happy with a 53-point lead in this frame. Yeah, he's got a good second prize. There's Mark William in a difficult position. He's got to be careful. He may. This white will go very close to the red on the top cushion. He's missed it completely.
Foul. And a miss. John Higgins 5.
John certainly won't be putting the cue ball back. He'll be having a go at this. So one more red after this blue. I don't think any of these 3 red pots, so I may try a little cannon into them. Well played. Excellent shot.
6. 7.
Virtually assured of taking this frame now. So even though John Higgins missed that pot, Mark Williams just nods his head. So John Higgins once again claws the frame back to get to within 1 frame at 11-10.
Yes, and so closely matched is it now that it's breaks like that of 45 that are beginning to do the damage. Into the next we go. Higgins to play, 1 red potted.
One. 6. Seven. Twelve. Thirteen.
Just getting the cue ball clean. Looks to be a little straight on this black. Just about force it around the 2 cushions. Red into the opposite right hand corner pocket.
$20.
When he puts this one, the red next to it will be open into both pockets, so excellent opportunity here for John Higgins.
$21. $28. $29.
And just exactly the way you'd want these reds.
36.
Because once he puts this one out, the one next to it will go into the bottom right hand corner pocket, so doesn't have to do much work with this cue ball.
37.
Just keep close control. I think the one on the top of those 4 goes into this bottom right hand corner pocket as well, so and this is a frame that will hurt Mark Williams. He's missed a couple of pots that you would expect him to get, and he's missed them by quite a long way.
Yes, John Higgins only been level at 1-all and 3-all, and now has an excellent chance to level once again at 11-all. So whatever happens now, we know we're going to go into the final session still not knowing which one of these 2 great players is going to get a place in the final.
Well, there you see, 52 ahead, still 83
51.
remaining, but may take the red to the extreme right, because he's perfectly on this and much up for the blue.
52.
Well, he stayed for the pink, but it looks like he's got the wrong angle now. He would want it to be a little bit straighter on this pink. He may have to play a little cannon.
Well, that's gone astray, hasn't it? 59 points in front.
58.
And he may have to take the red to the right of the green here. There's plenty of value taking the pot on. Well, he's going to have to take it on. If it jaws, it could go right over the other corner, so this is fraught with danger. Didn't even get near the jaws, so he's quite lucky actually to have missed it by such a long way and got away with it. But the break comes to an end at 58, the lead 59, still plenty on.
Yeah, so I'd possibly say a Mark Williams double here. Does play these shots quite regularly and with great success as well. And he's playing it in such a way he's not going to leave much, only the red that he's going to play, possibly beyond.
Well, the bonus was when missing the pot that he's come and moved all the reds into play, so John Higgins has to be very, very careful. Obviously playing off the cushion, he has to avoid the brown somehow. Oh, so much so he completely mishit it. And boy, that's finished in the only place that's awkward. It's amazing, isn't it, what happens on a 12-6 snooker table.
Well, it definitely doesn't go past the green, but Mark might just drop the cue ball onto the green here. Just snooker him on that red into balk. And it's a difficult shot for John Higgins now. Might try and drop on so that red just right of the black, but as we've seen, the white has drifted a few times when rolling the cue ball down the table dead weight, so he's got to put a little bit of pace in this just to make sure it doesn't drift off.
Oh, what a fabulous pot, and luckily finished tight on the cushion. Good recovery. The red is available into the middle. Now, if this goes in, albeit he came to the table 59 points behind, this is virtually frame ball, because I don't expect him to clear if this disappears. This is a very, very tough shot, though. Well played, Mark Williams. He's just gone favourite in this frame. And what a body blow this would be to John Higgins supporters. This was once again a frame that we've expected the player in front to win, and like has happened 2 or 3 times this morning, the person who leads the frame has gone on to lose it.
Yeah, he just stopped in his tracks, got a little bit of a flyer off that cushion, but he's still in prime position. And as you said, Willie, what a body blow this would be for John Higgins.
16.
And it's frames like this that could prove a turning point in this semi-final. For all the world, when John Higgins was in on that 59 break, 58 break, it looked like he was going to win the frame from that visit, but this would hurt him no end. He knows it.
23. 24.
Yes, purposely finished low on this red, so much easier to get on that red behind the brown from a balk or blue
31.
colour.
32.
Doesn't want to be straight. He's okay. I think he can just about force the cue ball off the side cushion behind the yellow.
Little surprised he didn't play for yellow or green there, because playing up for the blue was fraught with danger, and you can see that's what happened now. Because he got such a bad angle on the blue, this red now becomes missable. That's a poor shot.
37.
I think in fairness, red to blue was the poor shot, not that one really. Gave himself plenty to do. And this is got plenty of pressure on it, this pot. Yeah, it was a choice of shot to get onto the blue from the previous red that was the wrong shot, and even though he's got himself back in the game, John Higgins will be absolutely delighted to have another chance in this frame.
That was an excellent shot from John Higgins. That's the old problem. Not hitting it, but getting it safe. Doesn't want to leave a free ball either, and he's hit it well, and that's... If the cue ball doesn't go in, that's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
John Higgins 4.
Yes, in fairness, it's probably better off it going in, because if it had jawed and just left that long red on, Higgins would have possibly won the frame. I'm sure he'll still take this red on. Can't quite tell whether he's playing the pot or the double, but he just played safe, so he didn't fancy it. Maybe it was a lot tighter than it looked from our commentary position. John Higgins can get through to the potting angle of this, and we're very relieved John Higgins will be playing this, knowing if he pots red and colour, he's won the frame and levelled at 11 all. Certainly a frame that Mark Williams maybe should have got back into and won. He'd be distraught that he hasn't cleared up from the chance he had. Mark Williams is standing up, ready to leave the auditorium.
Nine in the frame, John Higgins.
Well, John Higgins somehow wins the frame at the second bite of the cherry. Mark Williams would be distraught. He should have gone too clear again. He didn't. John Higgins clears to win that frame, and we're 11 all.
So Williams' 4-frame advantage has now completely evaporated, and for the first time since the second frame, these two great champions are all level. So how would Williams respond? Well, in frame 23, he's had a knock of 17, broken down. John also broke down on 6, getting very twitchy.
One.
Oh, to have the confidence to play that shot, having missed the previous 3 long shots. Oh dear. As I've said before, he's just going through one of those horrible Crucible spells at the minute, where, well, a black off a spot is tough, and that's what that was. It's amazing, isn't it, what can happen?
One. Eight.
I'm reluctant to say that he should go on to win the frame from here, the way that things have gone in this last 15-20 minutes of this frame. John Higgins certainly looking the more composed of the two at the moment, but he's missed a couple. And that little flick off the pink has taken them away from the red rather than dead
16.
straight. His full ball can on the pink would have been dead straight. He's played the full ball cannon, and look what happened. If he doesn't get the cannon, he's okay, but he just flicked the pink to make this red a lot more difficult than it should be. Doesn't necessarily have to play for the black. He can come off 2 cushions for the pink in the same pocket as the red.
Yes, and he's got a perfect angle on the blue. Up and down the table. If you can get the cue ball into somewhere in that position there, maybe on all those 3 reds there. Oh my goodness. Well, he's mishit that by quite some margin.
22.
Just to explain to everybody watching, Ken, he's played the cue ball in exactly the spot you put it in, and that's how bad he's hit the shot.
Just got too much side.
Both players are really struggling out there at the moment.
Well, we've all been there. Sometimes these players have made the game look so easy, and it just goes to show that they are human after all. They can make mistakes. What a wonderful camera angle that is. Almost on top of the table. Bird's eye view.
John Higgins, 22.
Mark Williams appears to be going through a spell where he's just trying anything at the minute. That's the reason I mentioned that, because I just knew he was going to go for the double. He's clutching at straws out there at the moment. It's an amazing venue, this Crucible. When you see players under pressure, they just suddenly look like a fish out of water, just don't know what to do.
He certainly loves the double, doesn't he? Quite close with this one. It was worth taking on. John Higgins played the same shot. Not going to be leaving anything should he miss. You may see Mark Williams try and bring these 2 reds into play. Try and get the cue ball back behind the black. It's a little bit dangerous because he could plant a red onto the green, which is over the pocket, so he's refusing that shot.
That's an excellent safety shot from John Higgins. Oh, you're kidding. How on earth did he put it? Oh, can't believe it went in. What a shot.
Well, John Higgins looked in disbelief when that red went into the right centre. And now this has opened up the frame completely.
Five.
He had a good chance to steal the frame. The last frame. He got a good chance to steal it. This frame.
But having missed 4 or 5 chances already in this frame, he would do. Well, it would be a fantastic performance should he go on to win the frame from this position, because he's missed blacks off the spots, he's missed 4 long pots. This last red's going to be tricky. But if he does pot the last red, well, he doesn't want to be straight. That's so careless.
14.
That's all he could do, just try and have a shot in the middle. And it's just come betwixt and between. The brown is absolutely dead straight now. And Mark Williams playing well, this would be a certainty, but he's just gone through this spell we've been talking about where he's missing. And that's a proverbial mile away unless it rolls back in.
Mark Williams, 15.
Maybe he should have stunned it in. I'm sure he'd have got closer to it.
Yeah, a little bit surprised he didn't try and take the yellow, because if he missed the yellow he may have left it safe, but taking the brown on, he was sure to leave John Higgins on the yellow.
Two.
Well, this would be 7 out of 9 frames that John Higgins has won. Got to be careful. Screw directly back up for blue.
Nine.
Oh, no breaks of any significance whatsoever. Mark Williams now is a very worried man. He literally had 6 chances in that frame, and eventually John Higgins takes it and goes into the lead for the first time at 12-11.
Yes, that's 3 frames in a row, and how the tables have turned in this one. So what about the last frame of this morning's session? Higgins has just broken down on a break of 20.
1. Eight.
Well, it's hard to suggest that anything above 40 would be pretty good, but the way the spell that Mark Williams has just gone through, anything above 40 would be very good. He knows that this is an opportunity that normally would be no problem, but he's going to have to dig so deep the way he's been queuing
16.
for the last frame and a half. And
17.
At 12-12, he can forget about the afternoon session or the morning session, how poor it's been. At 13-11, he'd find it tough.
24.
There you see another shot that's gone astray. What happens when you just literally then find that the cue just feels like a strange object in your hand. You underhit them, overhit them, underscrew them, overscrew them. It just seems so strange. He's underhit that one, but it's a great pot.
Yes, excellent recovery.
28.
Has an angle to go into the pink and 3 reds, but not often does he play that shot. Likes to clear up the loose reds always when he makes the break.
35.
Mark Williams before he disturbs any reds.
35.
Might try and leave an angle now on the
42.
black. Just keep the cue ball low on the black here.
43.
Well, he's come up a little bit high, so may take the loose red closest to the right cushion.
Well, this is the key shot
50.
now. Needs an angle on a colour to get into the 3 reds. The red that's in open play is not ideal to get on.
51.
Doesn't have a good angle on the yellow now, so he'll have to play for the loose red from the brown. And then he'd like to finish straight on this so he can get onto the blue with an angle to get into the bunch. So John Higgins' last chance relies on blue to whether he gets on a red or
55.
not from the blue.
56. $61.
And that was John Higgins' only chance getting back into this frame, and played a wrong cannon there. He tried to get just to hit those 2 reds left of the pink. Didn't want to go into the pink at all. So 41 points ahead, only requiring 1 red and colour. Would love to try and get one of these reds safe. I'm just saying, can he just put it onto this side cushion? He's got to be careful. Oh, that's a poor shot.
Foul.
Oh, and just look where the red has gone. Oh, that was so careless.
61. John Higgins 4.
Have you ever seen a shot like it? You can get too clever, can't you? He was trying to put the pink safe, but to get the white in behind the yellow and completely mishit the shot. But as we've been saying for the last, when you go at this game, sometimes your cue doesn't feel like your own.
One.
36 points behind, so he doesn't have to worry about colours. He can take any colour at all.
Yes, played that nicely. Red and black, and may go up off the last red up for a ball colour. We saw Mark Williams a couple of frames ago. Went up for the blue instead of a ball colour off the last red. Let's see what John Higgins does. Purposely stays low. Well, he's underhit that.
40.
It's just a case of the last man standing, Ken, at the minute, isn't it? Good pot, but he's going to have to somehow negotiate the path between green and brown. I don't think he can play one cushion for this yellow. And the worst thing that could happen here, he could finish snookered behind the brown if he plays 2 cushions. Well, he felt he could play 1 cushion. Is he okay? I think he is.
22.
Yes, there you see he's 15 points behind, so he's going to need remaining 6 colours, including the black, to win this frame.
Don't think I've seen as many frames at the Crucible that should have been won by the other player, but in one session I think we've had 5 or 6 frames of the 8 being played today that could have gone either way, and perhaps should have gone either way. This will be a real body blow to Mark Williams. He knows he should have won this frame. He could forgive himself if he lost the session 5-3, but he'll find it tough to forgive himself having lost the session 6-2.
$36.
Key shot coming up. 2 cushions, possibly. Looks pretty good.
42.
So black required to have a 2-frame advantage. It's there. And a brilliant clearance from John Higgins. He wins the session 6 frames to 2. And now leads Mark Williams by 2 frames going into that last session tonight. He leads 13-11.
Yes, 4 in a row. Started 2 behind, goes into tonight's session 2 in front. What a turnaround. And give us your observations about the session as a whole, Stephen.
None of the players played fantastically well. I think both players had chances in each frame, but John was just, at the end of each frame, just looked more solid than Mark. Mark missed too many easy balls.
Just, John, tell us about some of the things you noticed as the pressure began to mount upon Williams.
Well, it's a bit like having a second serve at tennis, because I bet you Mark Williams wishes he could play a few shots again. We've dug out 3 shots from that session. One of them here, Stephen, I mean, this positional shot, what would you have played here?
With Mark being a left-hander, I would have thought with the red being in bulk, he plays this red, it's almost a plain ball shot to come off the side cushion to go up for the yellow or green, but the fact he's a left-hander, the yellow's easier, and also if he puts the yellow back on its spot, it makes it easier to clear up, and it's much easier to get on the last red.
Well, this is when he was still 11-10 in front.
Yeah, I mean, of all the shots you can play, that's the one you wouldn't go and screw up the table without using. If you use a cushion, side cushion to the blue, you're guaranteed you can't be past the blue, so that's taking you down. But I take Stephen's point, if he plays on the yellow, he's left-handed, it's perfect. Then, of course, we say that he's not susceptible to pressure, but there was some pressure on this brown, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, he's put all his eggs in one basket playing the brown. I mean, he's missed it by a long way. He has twitched it, but he plays all these shots dead weight, which they're always more difficult to play, I think.
Well, things were getting very tight at that point. That was when it was 11-all. And then in the very next frame, there was an example of safety play that you singled out as well, John.
He's done all the hard work in the frame. OK, he hasn't landed out with it. But what has he played here, Stephen?
I think he's just tried to be too clever, play the ultimate shot, but just get the white safe. You know what I mean? At that stage, He wants the last frame to be 12-12, just get the white safe. That's all I'd be thinking anyway, but he's trying to play a really clever shot.
Well, as you pointed out, it wasn't vintage stuff, but it was absolutely compelling what we saw this morning. And how do you think it's completely changed things around now? Who's favourite to take the place in the final?
Well, it's got to be Higgins because of the scoreline, but I also think that was a good time for that session to finish because Mark Williams was rocking at the end of that. It's very unusual for him, A, to pick the wrong shot, but B, to miss as many balls as he was missing, and I think it's a good time for him to get out of there. Now, he's capable of beating John Higgins 6-2 like John Higgins beat him this morning, and that's what he's got to think about when he comes back. But that's a session to forget for him.
But you know, Stephen, it's so fascinating, isn't it, how the complexion of these matches are changing from session to session. What a difference a few hours is making in the psychology of both men.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about Mark. He should have won yesterday's session. John Higgins has won today's session when he had to and when he should have done, and that's the difference. Near the end, when he was clearing up, they took an extra couple of waggles just to make sure he was winning those important frames.
OK, well, it all comes down to tonight, and they'll be back on the table at 7 o'clock. We'll be live, of course, for that on BBC Two. So, a few moments to ponder what's been happening in that one as we look ahead now to the conclusion.